Hey everybody, welcome to Neil Talks. My name's Neil, and it's time to talk person of interest. And I'm not used to shows that run like this. I'm out of practice of network television because I started my prep for today's episode, and I'm like, episode 17, man, we're about to get into the end game here. Like I'm in the mind frame. I'm so used to 8 episode, 10 episode seasons. Fringe and Avatar have prepped me for 20 episodes. So I feel like, okay, 17, yeah, we're about to get into that season finale almost. And then I realized, no, there's 23 episodes in this first season of Person of Interest. We're still like 7 episodes away from the finale. It's like, oh my gosh. This is still just mid-season. This could just be a filler episode. Or as seems to be the trend on this show, it may feel like a filler episode, but then there's something that ties it into the greater narrative that we're establishing here. We've set up these recurring, really ominous antagonists for Reese and Finch this season, whether it's the CIA, whether it's Elias, whether it's what we now know is called HR, this organization of corrupt police within the NYPD. Maybe it's Root, this mysterious hacker that we introduced not too long ago. But everything's starting to be connected, and it may not feel like it's connected at the start. By the end, it's revealed that it is part of somebody's master plan, and it feels like that's Elias. We think Elias has control over HR. How he got that control exactly, I don't know, because it feels like HR's been around for ages, and Elias is relatively new back on the scene. But nevertheless, I'm curious to see how an apparently random person of interest gets turned into part of the bigger puzzle. The show's doing a really good job of that. I want to see more of Fusco doing his sort of undercover stuff within HR. I want to see more flashbacks. I want to see more time. I want to see Reese back in the CIA. I want to know what happened with him and his former handler. The CIA is becoming much more complex. It's no longer just Snow as the face of this massively powerful government organization. There's complexity within it. We took out the one CIA agent last episode who was one of their actively involved in the drug trade to fight the war on terror, because we don't know why, but it's interesting because Snow has history with Reese, and maybe he did it out of some of that old loyalty, but it could just be as simple as this CIA agent who had this drug deal go bad was just becoming a liability. Maybe it was government sanctioned to remove him, or maybe that was a rogue decision. It's so hard to tell, but I like that things aren't as black and white, as clear cut. We're introducing a lot of shades of gray to the show, and that grabs my attention. That makes it much more interesting to me. So, no idea what this episode's about. It's called Baby Blue. Makes me think we got a rookie cop or something. Who knows? Or it could have something. I mean, I think rookie cop, or I think supercomputer. And either one of those is equally likely in a show like this. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's find out. Episode 17, Season 1, Baby Blue.
Did you hear? Moretti's getting out of the slammer. You think Elias
Oh.
knows? Kidding me? I think Elias arranged it.
All right, it's an Elias episode. We're breaking Hector Salamanca out.
How did you know he was being released? Should have guessed. Whenever you show up, trouble's right around the corner.
Got authority to offer Moretti protection. In exchange, he tells us how to get New York's public enemy #1.
His own son.
Who's picking him up?
Got another number. Issued by the Social Security Administration 2 months ago to a woman named Layla Smith. Either a new citizen or a case of identity fraud.
Well, that looks like a robbery about to go down. Hospital robbery? Stealing drugs? St. Raymond's. So we're cutting.
You don't work here, Layla. You're a patient.
Let me pull out my doctor
Dr.
costume.
Tillman, here to see Layla Smith.
Here she is. Our
Oh,
own little angel.
we got a baby.
No parents listed.
Oh, Layla's a safe haven baby.
Oh.
Hello, Layla.
Well, let's assume she's not about to perpetrate a crime, so she's probably a victim. Well, I've worked a lot with little kids. It's a challenge, but it's fun. Okay, now these guys we've seen. Oh, that's
I think I have a situation.
Me too. I have to get back to you.
okay. We're working separate numbers.
Please, can you help us?
Keep going.
All right, it's a hit.
Get out! Police, drop your weapon!
I have so many questions about Reese participating in a police shootout and how forensics explains a second gun used to take out those potential assassins.
Do I have to stay here?
You're a free man, Gianni. You can walk out of here and into a bullet anytime. Still a few good cops, like Szymanski in there, who want Elias taken down and think Moretti is the best way to do it.
How do you know who to trust within the NYPD?
Thank you.
What happened with the other number, Finch?
I'm afraid I may have done something rather rash.
What do you mean by rash?
He took the baby. He's a kidnapper.
But why did they want to get rid of her?
She might be evidence of an affair, or she might be an obstacle to someone getting a big fat legacy. As for who they are, I have no idea. I looked into the clinic's finances. They received a big gift, $50,000, just about the time Layla was born. And
Someone's protecting their child.
uh-oh, Amber Alert.
Baby kidnapped from St. Raymond's clinic last night. Suspect is a short man with mousy hair and thick glasses.
You didn't.
She was in imminent danger of kidnapping.
So you kidnapped her?
Layla's safe. She's with.
You trust him with a baby?
I realize it's not ideal.
Congratulations. Is it your first?
Yes.
Your partner was there too. They've hidden Moretti. We want to find out where.
Hey, Chuck, can't find out. Let you guys get your fingers in all the pies.
You are one of the pies for us, girl.
You're a pie.
Find out where she's got Moretti stashed.
Man, they're working at odds. He's got to prove his worth to HR to earn their trust.
As I'm sure Nurse Abbott explained, we don't know where Layla came from. It's not our job to hunt people down. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
She knows something.
Dada or Dada?
So sorry I embarrassed you, Dad. Brad, I want to know, is this it, or are there more unpleasant surprises?
Finch, are you listening?
Oh, there you go.
Layla did have something on her when she arrived, a bracelet.
Do you still have it?
I gave it to the director, Dr. Dalian. I asked him, but he said he didn't remember.
Yeah, the doctor's suspicious for sure. Does he have personal connections to the Petrosians?
Claudia Cruz, 20, receptionist in the head office. Employment with Petrosian ended 8 months ago, just when her pregnancy would have started to show.
She's dead
Oh.
from a fire 4 days ago. Emmy ruled it as an accident.
Oh. Killed the mother. Who killed the mother exactly? Who's doing the covering up?
I'm teaching her to go undercover. She's a natural.
The black tooth works.
Something happens to her, John, so help me God.
But why does Mom end up dead?
Maybe she agreed to give her up for adoption. Then changed her mind, said she wanted to keep her.
Well, that would expose the whole thing. The family would lose out.
It's motive.
Bump off the mom, make the baby disappear.
Just to avoid
Problem solved.
We need to find out if Claudia's death really was an accident.
Bradley Petrosian has been a good student.
So are we barking up the wrong tree?
Maybe.
I think.
Hang on.
Oh.
Finch, you were right about the wrong tree.
So we should look at the father, Adnan.
I'll get eyes on him. How's our baby doing?
Oh, she's...
She's broken out of her crib.
High temperatures can cause the skull to fissure. Cracks go along the plate lines of the skull.
Those aren't the plate lines.
There is no natural plate line there. But
It was caused by a blow.
yeah.
She just knocked down the books and walked off.
She can't walk, Finch.
Oh, God. Oh, my God, that's a grenade.
Please, Justin. Just a tear gas grenade.
It's still a grenade.
Just tear gas.
I told you to move
they're
your
bad
arsenal.
dads.
I was going to.
I'm gonna take her to her grandparents. They can keep an eye on her until we neutralize the threat.
So, but then, if you put her in the grandparents' hands, they're the suspects in an Amber Alert abduction.
Szymanski, I am so sorry I got caught up. I'll be there as soon as possible.
Szymanski, isn't he organized crime? Carly, you know I got your back, right?
Szymanski asked me out on a date.
Oh, she does not trust him. She knows there's dirty cops everywhere, and she knows his history. I like it that she just doesn't trust him at all. I disagree with this. You're making the grandparents conspirators in a crime, if nothing else. Oh, shit. Who's this? It's the nurses again. That's the same van we saw at the beginning. So who are those dudes?
Finch.
They got the baby.
We don't recover Layla tonight. She'll be out of the country. Gone for good.
Any idea who those men were?
They're Albanians or Croats. Probably one of the Eastern European crime groups.
What are you gonna do?
Okay, so they're affiliated with Petrosian, because that's a Balkan name.
Your killer was in his system.
What's the name?
Oh.
You had an affair with Claudia Cruz, didn't you?
Yes.
You had Claudia killed, the baby kidnapped.
No, I would never do anything like that.
What are you gonna do? Torture him?
Oh, did the wife do it? We're focusing on her a lot.
Alarm. The police are gonna be here in 5 minutes.
Wife sprints.
Nicola, what did you do?
Shut up.
Did you hire the man that took Layla? Did you? Get rid of the baby.
How could you do such a thing?
Somebody had to clean up your mess. And there's nothing you can do. They're gone.
One more time. How do I find him?
I don't know.
I will kill you.
You kill me, but I still don't know. Your baby's gone.
So no one knows where she is?
Not knowing. There is someone who knows the underworld.
Lies.
You're not serious. It's still too risky.
Risk is all I've got left.
It's good to see you again. Why would I help you?
I saved your life.
You did, didn't you?
Someone kidnapped a child, murdered her mother, just like Moretti murdered your mother.
Making it a little personal.
I survived.
They've been paid to get the baby out of the country, and they're moving her tonight. You can find out where it's happening. And you can get me there.
All right.
I would have just shot you. Boss has got a soft spot for you.
There's some respect. I feel like this is the same location we had the shootout last episode. We got a baby in a duffel bag. Kneecap.
I have the baby! I said stop! Put the bag down. No, you just shoot me. You're right.
All right. We are killing.
Finch,
I've got Layla.
Okay.
Sorry. Boss had to change her heart.
Oh.
John?
Did he, or is our Scarface cop doing that on his own?
What have you done with the baby?
Oh, no. Elias is here.
Tell me where Moretti is.
I don't know.
It'll get very cold in there very quickly. Now, you'll be able to hold off for a few hours, I imagine, but this little one, on the other hand, just shout if you change your mind.
Don't do this. Elias!
All right.
What'd you learn?
She got a thing for pepperoni.
And I got a dead body with your name on it. Find out where she's got Moretti.
Lost him. And the baby.
Last known location, 1637 Camden in Brooklyn. Anything you can do, detective, please.
Okay. Presumably Elias is still listening. And he's got to be close. Baby monitors don't have huge range.
You win.
We both win, John. Where's Moretti?
What guarantee do I have?
You don't.
1465 Jefferson,
Oh, he does know.
Queens.
Goodbye, John.
Elias! Elias!
Oh? Are we not in the same spot? Oh?
What on earth happened?
Elias happened.
Elias knows where Moretti is.
How does he know?
I'm on my way. Just get over there.
Chemansky, Carter, we've been blown. Get Moretti out of there now.
Chemansky's dead.
Carter says we gotta move. Quick, get your stuff.
I keep waiting for Chemansky to end up being dirty.
How did Elias know?
I told him I had to give up to save us, to save the baby.
I can't do this anymore. I can't. I'm sorry.
We're losing her?
Go!
Interesting. So this also explains why we've kept Fusco and Carter secret from each other. Because if you lose one, the other one can keep operating. I feel like that this should be going through more legal channels, because how are the grandparents going to explain how they got her?
Trouble with children, you never know how they're going to turn out.
Moretti and Elias, presumably, yeah.
Hello, Dad.
Stay tuned for scenes from our next episode.
Nope. No scenes from next episode. All right, we brought Elias back. I wonder what his plans are for Moretti. I feel like they're going to be more in depth than just revenge killing his dad. I feel like there's going to be a bigger play there. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's just vengeance for his mother. But I feel like there's going to be more there. Elias plays smart. He doesn't strike me as a overly emotional criminal. He's good because everything's strategic. And, you know, we've already set up the whole Count of Monte Cristo kind of thing, which is the ultimate long play revenge story. So everything has a purpose. Nothing is just out of emotion. Everything has a plan to it. So I'm curious to see what that might be. But Moretti's got to be useful. He's the head of a crime family, or, you know, he's at least got strong connections to the mob. So yeah. And then we had a baby story. You know, we got it's always interesting. You know, you put a helpless baby in these dangerous predicaments, but there's also network standards, and there's also like I worked 2 seasons on a series of unfortunate events for Netflix. I was the first AD for Second Unit on that show. 60 or 70% of what we did on Second Unit was work with the youngest actor on the show, who was 1, 2, 3 years old while we were working with her. And there are so many rules that involve shooting with children, especially very young children, on set. Not just how much time they can be on set and those sorts of things, which is very restrictive, but also the sorts of things, the sort of acting you can, the kind of scenes you can shoot with them. So how do you, while following all of those rules, put a child in what looks like apparent danger on a crime drama? And it's hard. So you have to create these scenarios where they're in a cold truck, things like that. My point being, it's really hard to translate that peril, make it feel like that child is in real danger, just because, like I said, there's very little that you can do to simulate danger even in filming. So I'm not sure I ever really felt like our baby was at risk, even though everyone else was acting like she was. And I mean, that's certainly the storyline. The peril wasn't really there for me. Nevertheless, I like the story of what it's all about. The son is the first suspect, but it turns out he's gay. That was a nice red herring. I didn't feel like it was him. I felt like my thought process was maybe he was fully ready to support the child, and maybe he even wanted to pursue a longer term relationship with the mother, but the parents put a stop to it, and that was what the argument was. But no, it turns out wrong tree. And so it was dad, but it was mom doing the cleanup, which was interesting. I feel like if Mother Petrosian was going to kill Carmen Cruz, that was her name, right? The young mother. Why not just kill the baby too? And I get that takes away the story. The whole story of this episode is protecting this helpless child. But yeah. Babies are complications for filming and for stories and for our characters' lives. So I'm not sure that hit on every level that it was intended to, but I like the peril. I like that we chose to go to Elias for help. Very dangerous move, but if anyone is going to know where this handoff is going to happen, he's the guy, because if he doesn't control the entire New York underground at this point, he's certainly aware of it all. But of course Elias is going to double-cross Reese. Of course he's going to play things differently. And yet, he still let Reese out. He could have killed Reese. He could have let the baby die. But so Elias has some level of honor here, and he's got respect for Reese. And maybe that was a one-time thing because, as Reese said, I saved you, I saved your life. But maybe they're closer and they're more similar than either of them would like to admit. And I like those. Elias is shaping up as a really good antagonist for this series, because I really like when the relationship between our hero and our villain is it's on equal footing. They're both equally capable and powerful and all the rest of it, but B, that they're sort of mirror images of each other, or they're sort of the counterpoint to each other, that they're really not as different as you would assume at first glance. And if it weren't for just a couple of small choices or random events in their lives, either one, like, you could have turned one into the other. I think of Batman and Joker, that sort of thing. They're more similar than you would think at first glance. But this, Batman keeps coming up in my head when I watch this show, which is so weird because it's so obviously not a superhero show, and yet Reese is in many ways being portrayed as a superhero. He can do no wrong on this show. And yet in this episode, he did do wrong by going to Elias for help instead of going to Carter. Well, he didn't feel like the police were a solution. He didn't feel like the police could help him find out where the handoff was going to be. But it feels like Carter's done with him at this point. She can no longer actively help them. Obviously, she's going to, she told him to get out of here before the place got swarmed with cops. But I think she's done actively helping them, which makes the Carter-Fusco relationship even more complicated. Because they've both been helping out Reese and Finch up to now without knowing that the other one is doing it as well. They've both been suspicious of one another. Fusco's now trying to work his way deeper into HR, so he's got this additional challenge of respecting and liking his partner and wanting to be a good cop, and yet at some point he's going to have to do enough to help HR out to earn their trust so that he can be brought further into that circle. And by not helping them out with finding the address for Moretti in this episode, for instance, giving that snarky pizza line instead, HR's not going to trust him. He's got to do more to work his way in there against his instinct to be a good guy. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. And now that Carter won't be helping out Reese and Finch, it's going to be even harder for Fusco to help them out, because Fusco's got to be doing extracurricular cop work to help out Carter, help Finch and Reese, but he's also got to be doing extracurricular stuff to help out HR, to help out Finch and Reese on the more long term. And where does this put Carter? She's just going to be actively being a good cop and pursuing leads, but it feels like we're going to be pulling way back on the interaction between Carter and our two leads. The show is getting more complicated by the episode. I'm fully on board for it. I'm excited to see how it evolves, because it feels like it's rapidly evolving. And I can't tell where it's going, which excites me. It's not predictable. I'm starting to see, we're leaving the realm of standard network procedural and turning this show into something a little different. And I'm really curious to see what it evolves into, because I don't have a grasp on what that is yet at all. I'm just excited by all of your enthusiasm, so keep that up. Thank you so much for all of your support on this show. It's really exciting to dive deeper into it. Thanks for doing all the great algorithm help that you guys do every week. And until next time, everybody, take care, stay healthy. We'll see you soon. Cheers.